All right, it's Friday, and I'm streaming. I know. I'm trying to mix in a couple more streams. I find I'm actually relatively productive from the streams. I think the streams catalyze the productivity. Typically, the productivity comes later in the day. Like, I'm actually not productive on stream. Let's be real. I'm sitting here chatting, but it makes me think of certain things that I need to do. So then, whenever I end the stream, I'm like, ooh, I need to finish that. And I find, like today, I was like, oh, I got a lot to do. And I started trying to work. And I found myself just sitting there absorbing and consuming a bunch of brain rot content on like YouTube or Twitter or wherever, you know, just social media in general. I was like, God, I'm not even getting anything done. You know what? I'm just going to live stream. So we're going to try and get some stuff done today. But I also find I'm much more productive late at night too. It's not the nighttime. It's not even noon. So, I was like, you know, I'll mix in a stream and then maybe mix in some more late night streams too, just so I can get more work done. Because I find like 30 minutes, probably around 9 or 10 p.m. is like my golden hour, is equivalent to almost 8 hours early in the day. So it's just kind of how my brain works, and that's just kind of how it is. Yeah, and probably yap for 3 hours and about UI fix for 10 minutes. Well, so like the UI for today, WinOneShot using .NET libraries is incredibly fast. And I was like, man, I kind of want to expand that now. It kind of screws up the whole name WinOneShot, because originally it was just you run the program and it just fixes the computer, right? Hence the name OneShot. But now I'm kind of like, oh, I like that, how it's instituting and doing those functions without PowerShell. Maybe we could expand it and take the exact structure of WinUtil into OneShot, and instead of taking the install portion of it, we put on our pirate hats and we steal. Well, not steal, but convert. Because there's one program I constantly use in Windows to manage all the programs. Now, WinUtil is great when you first boot up your system. You throw up and install it a little bit, but there's one program I use almost weekly that is great, and it's open source and free. What about WinGet UI? I love WinGet. I think it's WinGet. I don't know. They've changed the name a couple times, but I was like, ooh. Now it's written in C#, but we can do a conversion, take what we need, and then the install tab would essentially be an F# version of WinGet UI. And then the tweaks tab we've already pretty much done. We just need to add the options in to do it. And then for the configuration tab, I pretty much could, we already built the functions for all the services and registry. So I'm like, man, I could just convert it all to .NET. And then the final tab, now MicroWin is where I'm like, ooh, that's a little more difficult to convert to .NET because it uses DISM. But I don't know what .NET DISM thing. So anyways, I was just thinking out loud. I was just like, man, that'd be kind of fun to try. So might give it a go. Might give it a go. We'll see. Yeah, it's WinGet UI forever. Yeah. I forget why they changed it. I think there was like a licensing thing. It might be Microsoft got pissed off. I don't know. Either way, it's amazing. Ooh, might take inspiration from WinHance. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Manage DISM, Jeff K. Dude, I want to check that out. Let's give it a whirl. Am I echoing? Echo? I don't know. Everyone's saying echo. Oh no. Okay. Well. Oh, all right. There we go. Thank you, Super Zoomy. Becoming a member. 2 months, man. Much appreciated. So, let's see what we get. I need to get a haircut. I think I might try and cut my own hair. Why? Because I'm lazy and I don't like going to the haircut place. Prep. I think I could do it by feel. When overconfidence goes awry. Alrighty. Flowbee. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I get a Flowbee. It'd be good for a stream one day. Just take I have a bunch of ways to pull out and take cameras elsewhere, so we could do like a haircut stream. That'd be hilarious. Going to the barber, you get all the best gossip. Yeah, I don't have like a really great barbership. A lot of times I'll just do like a great clips kind of thing. A lot of the barbers around here, I'm just like, meh. Haven't really found one I'm like, I love. Let's see. Do you buy or get free OneShot? Yeah, no, there's not a free WinOneShot. That's like all done by me. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Oh man, you know, Chocolatey's great. I love Chocolatey. My wife has been itching to cut mine. My wife is probably not on that side of things. Maybe. Be funny. Be funny regardless. Phillips one blade trim is the best shaver for me. I forget what my I got something with like some guards on it, so it wouldn't be like the worst thing. Yeah. Will you download a clip of your assessment of Linux distributions? I don't know on the Linux side of things. Like, I'm trying to think of a way to help users adopt Linux, and there's just so much bad habits the Linux community has for new users that I don't know if it can ever be broken. Like, everyone always makes the same mistakes, and it's because the Linux community is just terrible with new users. The advice that everybody gets is, hey, your Windows programs work perfectly in Linux, so will your hardware. Those two statements are incorrect. Hey, try a bunch of distributions, you know. Distro hop around without any thought, which is terrible. They're just going to end back up on Windows and Mac. Yeah. I need to make like a new Linux video of things that Windows users should do if trying Linux, and things you should know. No, not all hardware works. That's a lie. Frankly, the hardware support in Linux is pretty good, but it's not perfect, and it's not as large as Windows. Windows has the biggest hardware support because everything's built for Windows in mind. If you use Adobe on the regular, do not try Linux. If you're a massive Microsoft Office user and you want to retain and keep using Microsoft Office, do not use Linux. But that's kind of like a negative connotation of a video. I feel like those are some golden rules for users to follow, but maybe it is, hey, instead of using Microsoft Office, you need to use like OpenOffice would be my recommendation. And instead of using Adobe, you know, try these other utilities. Because there's always an alternative, but it requires you to learn it. And at the same time, most people aren't going to want to learn it because they've been using Microsoft Office for 10 plus years or Adobe for 10 plus years. It's a hard video to make. It's one that most people won't understand, and the Linux community doesn't understand it because they've been using FOSS tools forever, and they're like, well, it kind of works, it's fine. You can load it up, and you get a splash screen, and you can type a little bit in it. So of course it works. No, that's not the same. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to make that video where it's like, hey, if I've already made the video, I've already made the video a bunch. Like, I made every damn video you can make in Linux about Linux. There's not very much new stuff to cover. That's the thing. Like, I've made 1,000 videos, and I just don't want to beat a dead horse. So it's kind of like, OpenOffice or OnlyOffice? I think OpenOffice, right? Let's see. OpenOffice. Oh, no, not OpenOffice. I'm sorry, I misspoke. OnlyOffice is what I'm thinking. Jeez. Yeah, my bad. Oh, almost screwed the pooch on that one. Yeah, OnlyOffice. I'm sorry. Yeah. OnlyOffice is the one that I like. Thank you for the correction there, chat. Jeez, that would have been bad. Yeah. Yeah, the free office is not bad as well. LibreOffice can be really good if you do a lot of customization. Libre is set up to use OpenDoc standards, which is fine. Oh, I mean, in a perfect world that people actually used OpenDoc standards, it would be fine. But nobody uses OpenDoc standards. Everyone uses Microsoft Office. Spoiler. That hasn't changed. Like 99% of all Office documents are Microsoft Office. So the standards and the defaults of LibreOffice are absolute dog water, and it will get you in a lot of trouble really fast, especially when you go to share your documents. So don't do that. I don't know though. At the same time, I'm just like, hell, these days I pretty much just use like all online tools. So if I need to do some kind of office work, I usually use G Suite. So who am I to tell you what to use? Yeah, I made a video about LibreOffice and setting it up to use all the Microsoft Office standards. But it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I was kind of like, I don't really use that many docs these days. And if I do, it's usually online. So I don't even bother with installing any Office documents on my machine. When you load up a Windows ISO, where is the Home Pro stored and where does it get injected in? Windows ISOs have all the editions on them. So you'll have Home, Pro, all of that in there. When MicroWin loads a stock ISO, it will automatically select the Pro edition, but that's done with the ISM, which is built into every Windows install. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to see that, but LibreOffice does work, and it is decent. It's just not, it's not the standard, and you do need to modify it to work with Office users if you're going to ever share your Microsoft Office documents. Yeah, I get DocX and all the Microsoft standards are awful, but it's what everybody uses. Same with Adobe. Like, everyone uses Adobe and PDF, which PDF itself is just a flawed standard. It's a proprietary piece of crap document, but everyone uses PDF. So what are you going to do? Adobe made PDF specifically to establish their monopoly that they have. And everything that interfaces with PDF is at Adobe's mercy. So don't use PDFs when you can, but I understand most people want PDFs. So the best thing you can do, I think, is like PDF/A, the standardized PDF, publish to that. That's, I think, pretty much flattened, and pray for the best. Yeah, University Forces Office. Yeah, I totally get it. PDF readers asking me to register or buy a subscription. Yeah, see, I can't do the subscriptions, man. I just feel like there's already too many damn subscriptions in the world, and that's why I always...
Yeah, well...
I get a question a lot, like, hey, how much is it to do... Like, I'll never sell software where it requires a subscription. I just won't ever do that. I will always, if I sell a piece of software, it's yours, and that iteration of it that you buy, you can always download, and it's yours forever. Will I update it forever? Probably not. I'll eventually die, and then it won't get updated. You know? So I can't promise forever. But I can say that at the time of purchase, you will always be able to download and buy that version of it. I think that's how it should work. I just am very adamantly against software as a service and software that you have to pay for monthly in perpetuity. I just think that's wrong. So that's my thought process. I want the Titus can completely updating the programs after you're gone, hopefully, but I mean, maybe not. No, actually, no. After I'm gone, it won't, because I'm the only person allowed to do pull requests on WinUtil. Every single pull request that gets approved is approved by me. I am a dictator in that respect. I don't want it ever getting abused, and I don't trust anybody to ever update or do pull requests on my behalf. So I'm kind of a dictator in that regard. And I don't think that'll ever change. I just don't. There's been too much shady stuff happening in the open source realm where people will come in and I think of the XZ backdoor that happened. Was that last year or 2 years ago now? But this contributor contributed for like 2 or 3 years worth of code and other stuff, and then waited for the main person that ran the XZ compression package to essentially go, okay, I've had enough. I can't deal with the zealots of open source anymore and the people that complain, and I don't get paid for this, so I'm out. And then the person that sat there and was waiting in the wings like, yes, this is my time to slip a proprietary binary in and hack people's systems. Almost got away with it too. Believe it or not, as much as people always shit on Microsoft, it was a Microsoft engineer, I believe, that was loading it up one day and went, that's weird. I was loading this XZ package and this took about 2 seconds too long. So obviously, attention to detail, right? Hopefully that guy still works for Microsoft. He needed a raise after discovering this. Probably didn't. Probably the C-suite didn't even know he did it. Idiots. But yeah, this engineer found it, and it never got pushed to the public. So yeah, he probably got replaced by AI. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, such is life. Yeah, one-time purchase or purchase every major update. I think that's what it is. I swear that's, if it's good, I think that's what you should do. And if your software sucks and you're just trying to milk people, like even during the whole major updates, you buy it. Often, like I think of, who was the worst at this? QuickBooks. Intuit. Yeah, let's pick on them. They would just make yearly versions that you'd have to buy. I think they still do this. I think they've pretty much gone to software as a service now. But God, every year they would just change shit around. Sage also, like their competitor, was even worse. And they would just move everything around in the GUI. So anytime I like had a CPA or someone like HR or that was doing the accounting, they would always, every year we'd update it, and then they'd be like, what the F? Oh my God, they just switched everything around. And all the accounting software does it. Honestly, like SAP is just as bad.
Yeah, well.
So even the big software was awful. Just switched to Arch using Linutil. Now my new daily driver. Man, I always puts a smile on my face when I see a new Linux user. It's always a good thing. Try it out. You know, I always say dual boot though. You know, if there's something on Windows that you miss, you could always boot back in until you figure it out on Linux. There's always another way though. I always want to tell people that, like, it may not work the same in Linux as it does in Windows, but there's always another way. There's the great Jurassic Park quote, life finds a way. And it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, every app is going subscription-based. But I will never go subscription-based. You can take that to the bank. Never. And everything's open source, so even if I do, the open source community will hold me accountable. So it will never go subscription-based. I understand why they do it. So the thought process behind software as a service is these companies have this massive team and they need to make sure that their monthly recurring revenue doesn't fluctuate as much, where if they get just a small amount of money every month and they onboard enough users, they can flatline or predict their revenue better. I get that, but I feel like if you just make a good piece of software, that doesn't matter. If you need more revenue, charge more for it. You know? That's what I'm saying. YouTube with a weekly subscription. Well, what is it? YouTube Premium? I gotta say, I do pay for that. I don't really need to, but I do. Although I might cancel it. I'm trying to think of the last time. I'm getting to the point where I don't really watch long form that much on YouTube anymore. It's not as, like, you go back a couple years, I would think I was watching a lot more YouTube than I do these days, which is kind of surprising. Oh yeah, it was $9 like a year ago. Yeah, and it just keeps going up. It's the beauty of that. I mean, Netflix, everything. I think pretty much every subscription service, that's just like their motto. Oh yeah, YouTube Premium does have YouTube Music, which I do use. I don't really use Spotify at all. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's kind of weird. Act poor like Wikipedia and beg for donations. Yeah, but Wikipedia's like C-suites taking home millions of dollars. So like I would never ever give a donation to Wikipedia. That's like such a waste of money. You're just like giving money to essentially this bloated executive team. Their hosting costs are not near what they say they are, and they're just ripping users off. So never ever donate to Wikipedia. That's the biggest scam in the world. Yeah. It's a total scam. It's like Mozilla. Yeah. It's so true. So true. Yeah. Donate to the Internet Archive instead. You know, actually, I can get behind that. Internet Archive is doing God's work. And they have so much. I thought they were going to get shut down. Whatever happened with that? I don't know. Like, there was so much about the Internet Archive because they have committed a lot of copyright infringement as far as, like, copying books and all kinds of craziness. But without the Internet Archive, we wouldn't actually have a proper record of what has been on the internet. And scammers and other things would be much less accountable without the Internet Archive. So Internet Archive's amazing. I love them, but I also fear that, you know, they will eventually go away. Yeah, they stood on the backs of the stealing LLMs. Yeah, the LLMs, man. That's wild. I still can't believe that they've been able to just steal everybody's work and get away with it. Like, you look at GPT, Claude, whatever, all those companies, that's wild. They literally stole the internet and got away with massive copyright fraud. That's kind of impressive, but at the same time, a little bit disheartening. So it's like, I don't know. Well, anyways, let's see what we got. I wanted to pull up the old Windows, WinOneShot, actually. I think I was working on it inside. And I'll show you kind of where we are with this. I don't think it was up. Oh, it was all up to date. Okay. So if we go .NET run. Grok stole all of Hitler's ideas. Oh, Mecha Hitler. Oh my god. That's too funny, man. That's too funny. Oh. So anyways, yeah. I want to add a tab system, much like we have with WinUtil here. And I think we could do that. Let's give it a whirl. WinOneShot, we've done the automated release. Got our views situated. All right, let's think about how to prompt this. Now, I almost want to try to do like an Opus 4.5 for this instead of Sonnet. But you know what? Sonnet is almost good enough for me, though. Expand this Avlonia UI to have 4 pages. The current design is for a tweaks page. The other 3 pages or tabs will be in the following order. Well, actually, we'll just put the other pages. Tabs will be in the following order. One is going to be install programs. 2, tweaks. 3, config. 4, updates. Expand this one to have 4 pages. The current design is a tweaks page, 4 other pages. Let's see what this does. Hey, Claude, make this awesome. That's true. Let's see. Avlonia has some really cool theming too, so I'm kind of curious. Now, I just kind of want to get the structure right, so the scaffolding for this done, and then we're going to do a hot reload, and then we'll massage it a bit. Oh, there's a .NET. Oh, yeah, the Jeff K. I need to look at that. Why Why, this is working. Let's try that. Let's see what manage DISM. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at that too, Coding Wonders. What is this? A managed wrapper for native DISM servicing. Really? C#.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Wow. James Bond, thanks for the prime. Love your work. That is cool. So then we could do this directly through .NET, not even have PowerShell for DISM, and then we would just convert MicroWin over to this. I like it. So that's kind of what we need. I'm gonna actually star this real fast, just so I don't lose it. I think that's great. All right, what do we have? All right, install checkboxes for selected categories, DevUtils, install triggers, obtain all original progress tracking UI. Yeah, so we'll have to clean all this up, but it'll be kind of interesting. Okay. Let's see what this looks like on .NET Run. Let's go debug on this. Yeah. Build errors. Yeah, so like GUI is also an interesting thing to code. There's so much nuance to it. So you have to have some experience with like front end and back end and how it interfaces in, and making it clean can be difficult. That's what I've always struggled with, is the GUI. Even with like WinUtil, like our initial GUI was just so ugly. And we used WinForms with absolute values, and then all I did was like, I saw the back end, which I've always been better with back end work, obviously. That's where most of my professional expertise lies. And making things look pretty has just never been my strong suit. So what I did was, when we did WinUtil, because we converted Win10 script from 2020 to WinUtil in 2022, I was like, we need to have a better back end. So if someone actually has some taste, gets in here and looks at it, might be able to help. And I was like, let me figure out something. And I remember I looked through a bunch of code, and I finally settled on building the GUI using PowerShell script with XAML and WPF. And that took some doing, but I cobbled together something. It was still ugly, but it was better. And then we had a developer called Conti, and he came in and was like, hey man, you know, you can pull in specific like theming libraries to make this look even better. And I was like, no, I did not know this. And he was like, well, here's a good example. And he kind of threw up some stuff, and then we massaged it a bit and went a little bit back and forth, and then we came up with like the modern GUI for WinUtil based on that. Did you add a Steam Deck to your WinUtil? A Stream Deck? Not really. I'm trying to think of. We've done so much over the years, though. I don't even know. Okay. So now that we have that building correctly, let's go ahead and pull a debug build in. Let's see what the old AI came up with the GUI section. Perfect. Gotta love it. Beautiful. How about we fix some of this? All right, let's see. What do we have? Where is our tabs being done here? So you have your tab control. Tweaks are fine. Install. Background border white. Border brush 0. Huh. That's funny. I guess there's no foreground on this tab control, huh? We just have install, so tab item header install, but there's no extra. So you should be able to go. Yeah. I probably would go multi-line with this tab header. Nah, I think that's fine. Clean that up a little bit. Yeah. So I originally wanted to do like a preview window in VS Code, but F# and Avalonia is not conducive of it. So we actually ended up using an open source project called Hot Avalonia. And it works pretty good, you know? One thing I'm thinking in my head right now as we kind of go through and kind of clean up some of this, we need to make this pull in the light and dark theme before we get too crazy. And then our focus would need to be fixed as well. Yeah. Let's see what it can do on that side of things. Will AI will ever be able to see their work? Yeah, you can actually take screenshots and feed it to AI. And then you can like highlight certain sections and go, look at this highlight. This needs to be capable of doing and feed it the proper terminology to fix it. So it's not that they're colorblind or they don't know. They just know, hey, people usually do this as a best practice, so we're just going to throw all that in. But they're not going to know if, hey, it's white text on white background. They're not going to know that normal user can see it. So you do have certain things like that will pop up when you do it. It's fine for like a scaffolding kind of things, but you're not going to be able to prompt your way through making a pretty GUI. At least I don't think you will be able to. Maybe that's possible, but I still think you're gonna have to manually massage things, where you're like, oh, you know what, that margin's 10 pixels, it's gonna need 5. It would really tighten it up a lot. Because if you try and just prompt your way through, it's just, there's so much nuance to what you're seeing that you have to know a little bit about code to clean up those things. Otherwise, it's just gonna look ugly, and you're gonna see a bunch of artifacts and other things in your GUI, and it's gonna be a lousy user experience. So you have to, it's fine for the initial steps, but then to fine tune and polish it, you're gonna need an actual human. I just don't know how you'll ever get around that, especially from a front end perspective. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I don't see from a technical aspect how that would ever work, because it's such an opinionated, it's almost like an emotional or a feeling kind of thing that you're trying to convey to the LLM. Be like, I want to feel this way when I see the GUI, and you don't really know it until you see it, kind of thing. It's where it's hard to put into words, but when you use it and you feel it, and you're like, that's it right there. That's the magic. And then you're like, okay, well, let me massage a little bit. It feels even better. And it's more of a feeling than, I think, an actual like technical framework that you feed it. You can kind of know what the scaffolding can be. You can kind of know what the foundation should look like and be. And I think LLMs are good with that. But from the actual like polish at the end, I think it's such a nuanced thing. What am I doing here? Let's go. This needs to detect the OS is using dark or light mode, and then adjust the theme accordingly. Yeah. And maybe someone makes a GUI LLM, you know? If you want to use Grok, we could say, hey, Grok, put it in a bikini for me. I bet it'd be pretty good at that. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna just pick whatever you're choosing. So if you're a dark mode user, you're gonna be dark mode here. So if you're dark mode on your desktop, it'll just detect it and then put it in dark mode. There's no real reason why you wouldn't have that. Doesn't look like that much. All right, great. I don't think this really did anything though. Just gave us the capabilities of reading dark mode and light mode. So it probably still looks the same, I would imagine. Because we hard coded the yeah, that makes sense. Perfect. Yeah. So now we have the capabilities of using dark mode. Change main window to have all the go change main window to have all the variables for each color being used at the top. we will use different colors for both dark mode and light mode, which was just added in app.xaml. Different colors for dark mode and light mode, which was just added in app.xaml. We're also going to want to make this more modular. Right now, everything's in main window, which is going to get really ugly really fast. So we're going to break main window into install, tweaks, config, and updates. So then we'll have it broken down into smaller pieces. This is going to blow it up to like 1,000 lines of code probably. Why still on .NET 8? These are good questions. We need to upgrade to 10, don't we? Okay. I like it. You don't need to, but there's some nice improvements. Might as well then. Yeah, I think .NET 10 came out just recently. It's the new long-term service branch of .NET. Why not cursor? Does it cost money? And I'm cheap. I don't want to spend any money. So that's why I'm using VS Code. Just checking to see, make sure we grab everything. What I don't want it to do is I don't want it to get sneaky and start throwing variables down in the middle. Sometimes AI likes to do that crap. So you gotta kind of watch it. And it's also gonna make probably too many variables, but we can consolidate. All right. Looks good. Wow. I think that'll actually work. Nice. Keep that. So this actually probably should look a lot different on this run. We'll add a light dark toggle in the title bar. Okay. And we'll fix some of the theming as well. Oh, we can't do it in the title bar. We'll put it... put it in the header. I understand it still looks like trash, so we'll fix it soon. Inlining styles in each controls like this would be very ugly. What's the proper way to do it, Kaz? How would you do it differently? All right, let's see if we get a toggle this time around. Yeah, probably doing a style thing would probably be the best. So it's in light mode now. Switch it to dark mode. Well, it's something. It's kind of funny. All right. So dark mode should have a dark background. Let's get that. Yeah, the main difference between WinOneShot and WinUtil, at this point, I was originally going to make it completely different, but the big thing I was going to do, all right, dark theme, was everything uses .NET libraries, so no PowerShell at all. Okay, header background, that's fine. We should have an actual background style. Window background. Window background light is here, but it doesn't change the background. Huh. No opacity there. Doesn't really show anything either. Okay, so that's not it. Oops. All right, header foreground. Make this white, actually.
Yeah, well, to do the binds.
Alaskan, thank you so much for the super chat. So what color is this? Maybe. Do we have a color picker? I think actually Power Toys has a color picker, does it not? I swear it had a color picker. Yeah, what was a color picker? Let's go settings. We're going to need that. Color pickers like mandatory. All right, Windows Shift C. All right. Yeah, that didn't work. All right, let's switch that out, I guess. There's probably a better tool to use for this. But alas, this is where we're at. Mouse options. Yep. All right. I think we should have a color picker here. Let's just change this. Yeah? Maybe. Oh, yeah. No, I haven't eaten lunch yet. Yeah, I will. Thanks, buddy. All right, power coils is good enough. Let's reset that. Let's clear, assign. Let's do Control Shift. No, that's no good. Let's do Alt Shift C. Nah, still didn't work. Man. Why doesn't that work? Power toys. All right, what do we got? Maybe it's a conflicting shortcut? It was in the first menu? I don't know, though. You know about Avlonia DevTools, right? You get an F12 like browser and inspect elements. Yeah, so Kaz, you can't use the... I tried to use their DevTools in a live preview in code, but it only works with C#, not F#. And we're using F# instead of C#. I know. I just wanted to make my life difficult. But alas, this is not working. Let's just get a different... We'll get a third-party color picker. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Color picker, modern. Color management software. A couple thousand stars. What's a good color picker? Yeah, it's got to be the shortcut keys. I tried to switch the shortcut keys, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working for me. So I'm like, oh, well. Hell, let's just try this open source project. I don't care at this point. I just want a color picker. Let's install it as admin, so maybe we don't have permissions issues. Yeah, I tried the Win Alt C. Still didn't work for me, so I was like, I don't know. We're just gonna go with a simple color picker. When in doubt. So this is F5, F5. Let's grab that. So what is F5, F5? Window background light, window background dark. But for whatever reason, it's not actually changing the window background dark and light. even though it shows it here. Unless I'm missing something here. This is the downside of letting AI do it, huh? Card background. Maybe card background? What's that? I don't think it's properly switching. Yeah. This isn't properly detecting Windows 11 dark mode. Okay. TrueNAS or Synology? TrueNAS I really enjoy, but Synology's easier. So it depends on you as a user. Okay. Yes. You'd have a Windows background source, bind it as a dynamic resource, have nothing special in your controls, styles, and it would toggle automatically. I think that's what we're doing. I'm gonna pull it real fast whenever it's done here. Didn't do it as admin. AI's gonna melt down here. Oh, look at that. It actually knew. See, it didn't detect light and dark mode. Where's it going with this? .NET FSI test theme. What? Kind of curious to see what it's doing here. Okay. Yeah, we'll delete this test theme. That's kind of interesting how it did the FSI, the interpreter. Oh my goodness. What is this? Sorry, we got to take a detour. Shouldn't have these turned on, but oh, I'm about to make you famous, brother. You will spend more time fixing bad Linux updates and software incompatibilities in Linux. And so were you're clear, I'm a computer scientist and I have almost 30 years of Linux experience. Skill issue. There you go, M3. Sorry, I had to take time out of my day to reply to that one. That was too good. Anyways. Let's see what the launch looks like now. There's a great Stoic philosophy. It's really important and applies especially to content creators like myself, because I see it more probably in my line of work I do nowadays. And it's very easy to get the big head, but this one phrase is so important to know. You can't learn what you already think you know. So it's fine to say, hey, I don't know something, and then learn it. But too often, people are overconfident or say, I have this experience, and they aren't humble enough to know what they don't know. And they think they know more than they do. So it's very important to stay grounded and understand you don't know everything. No one does. And there's always something new to learn, especially in pretty much every field, especially IT and programming, because every new version changes things. So if you start to think, hey, I worked on this giant project and millions of people used it, I'm awesome, I know it all, you will quickly become out of date and become a worthless technician because you thought you knew everything and you didn't keep up with the times. So I always think, stay humble, realize that you don't know everything, and keep an open mind when, especially in open source. I love it because you can learn so rapidly. Like, I love making videos just showing my gross incompetence in certain areas because the comments will lead me to what I need to know I don't know. Yeah, the classic Dunning-Kruger effect, yes. So true. I like the 4 stages of mastery, where you first stage, you don't know anything, and you don't even know what you don't know. The next stage, you start to learn some stuff, but you still kind of don't know what you don't know. And then like the third phase, like where most people hang out for a long time, is you know a good bit, and you start to know what you don't know. And that is the phase that most people struggle to get to, but once you get to that phase, that's when you start to learn a lot. Because you'll understand, oh, I don't know what the hell all this is. I need to sharpen my skills there. There's always something to learn. Yeah, you learn every day. As soon as you stop learning every day, you start to quickly become out of date. And, I think back, like I met up with an old friend of mine a couple weeks back, and we had just sat at a bar, had a beer, and I was sitting there chatting with him, and he's in it. He's going to these big companies and redoing a lot of their data centers and doing rack and stacks, and it's been almost 10 years now since I've done that. And I was like, what's a typical business set up as now? I mean, back 10 years ago, we were doing a lot of local Windows Server setups. I mean, we would string together all the sites, but we would still use traditional Active Directory. And he's like, yeah, we don't do that at all anymore. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, some of it's done with Azure, but Azure kind of sucks. I was like, wait, yeah, that hasn't changed. But then I was like, what are you doing for like print management though? Because Azure just sucks at all the things that Active Directory of on-prem Active Directory used to do. He's like, yeah, pretty much everything's handled with third party now. So like all big companies usually do third-party tools. Very few actually now still leave on-prem Windows servers. You know, it still exists, don't get me wrong, but I think it's more of the exception than the rule now, especially for new setups. So I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize it's gotten that far. And it just made me realize that, God, a lot of my knowledge and skills that I've acquired over the last 20 years of doing IT, a lot of it's just no longer even relevant. Kind of wild. But yeah, he had like a whole software for print management, and then like other things like, well, what are you doing for group policy and that type of thing? He's like, yeah, it's typically done by a third-party tool too. That, you know, he's an MSP, so they have their own third-party tool that implements, you know, all the different policies. And it's even gotten to the point where like people drop the word AI too damn much, but what him and his another senior technician did was really impressive. He kept getting calls, and he'll support companies with thousands of employees. And what he did was he started reading Event Viewer, and they kept getting calls like every week or two about one of the systems like breaking for whatever reason. You know, a lot of times people run like line of business software that's just not great or not well designed, but it's like, well, they spent a lot of money developing that, and of course they're going to keep running it because it's vital to their business. So sometimes it'll cause errors with Windows. And what they ended up doing was started to read Event Viewer, and they knew the fix as soon as they would see a certain event pop up. So then they designed their software to constantly be reading Event Viewer on startup or whenever this event might happen. And then whenever that event happened, it would automatically go ahead and execute a script to self-heal the computer. And I was like, dude, we are living in the 21st century now. So the computers essentially would self-heal themselves as they would get more data and more events and things that would happen with systems that would be problematic. You could design around that to essentially cut down on your support calls and other things by self-healing. I was like, dude, that's amazing. I think that's so cool. Where, you know, you could only dream of that like 20 years ago. Yeah, it's neat. It's neat. So it's neat to know that these exist. I don't know how to do that. That's obviously more cutting edge and past my time. But if I ever did get back into that field, it's neat to know I don't know that, and that exists, and that could save thousands of hours per year in my time if I were to do that. So it's really important to know those things and talk to other people. Hey, what are you doing? And I always love picking them, even though I probably never go back to that, doing that kind of support. It's just neat to know. I love nerding out on that type of things and just knowing that knowledge exists somewhere. Yeah, Intune Pro. I hate Intune, but yeah, Dado automations are all super useful for proactive fixes. It's so cool. It's so cool to see that stuff. All right. My God, I got completely sidetracked. What was I doing? Oh, that's right. Let's run this and see. I think it was not actually still detecting the dark mode, light mode. Yeah, it still wasn't. Let's go to this one. Yeah, let me show you, Kaz, kind of what we're dealing with. Yeah, let's see. So this is fine. So here's what we're doing right here. So we're defining the Windows resources up at the top, and then we're pulling these using the dynamic resource like Windows background light and Windows background dark. What's wrong with this code here is probably the thing that I'm struggling with. Yeah, the application header's going dark. But that still shouldn't matter. I'm focusing more on the Windows background. So, I mean, the theme itself is kind of working. Obviously, the variables are off, but we'll have to fix that. Right now, I'm just focused on the actual window background being properly set up. And maybe this property is just not getting applied correctly. Parent window background. So when we look down here, let's say tab control for grid margin, Windows theme, tab item. Let's look for background. You know what? Let's just do a find and go background. Sorry, yeah, you're gonna have to take a back seat real fast. These are buttons, button, card background, light, card background, dark. It's fine. That's it. So here's a new tab where the background's still screwed up. So you have your foreground. Here's your grid definitions. Here's your border. Here's the actual window border. I don't think it's actually defining the background, though. I don't see backgrounds actually getting defined for each panel. So maybe it's just inheriting a light background and it never gets changed. That's what I'm thinking looking at this code. It looks like foreground is getting defined, but background is not. Yes. Yeah, it could also be some typos. This is focus and pointer over for the selectors. See, it's defining the foreground, but I don't think it's defining the background. Because anytime background property is being set, it's pulling like card background light, card background dark. If you look at card background light and card background dark, those are actually set properly. Window background does not look like it's getting applied. So all this troubleshooting and crap's just not going to go anywhere. Backgrounds are not defined. Let's specify window background light and window background dark are not defined in each tab page. Tweaks, install, tweaks, config, updates. First style selector request theme is weird. You usually use actual theme variant. However, that's all a lot of boilerplate that's not used for toggling resources, because you instead usually define theme inside of theme dictionaries, part of a resource dictionary. Here's a good example of code. Okay, well, let's do that instead of some bastardized version that I'm about to create. This is a scroll window. This doesn't look like it would actually set anything. grid. Maybe. So there's a style selector grid for tweaks, right? And then you go to the next one for the config, and then it's all of a sudden scroll viewer and scroll viewer for the selector. You're smoking crack. What? Are you on drugs? Selectors. Selectors are picking out grid on one and then scroll viewer on another. This should be uniform, and it should be the window background as the variable says. Like, what? What are you doing? Let's see what it comes up with here. I also want to pull up Kaz's example. Okay, Avalonia UI, defining and referencing custom variant specific resources using the theme directories property. Typically, developers use light and dark mode to key the theme variants, using default as key marks this specific theme directory as a fallback in case the variant or key resource is not found for other theme directories. So you're not sitting there defining everything every single time. Makes sense. So then you're not sitting. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's implement theme directories as Kaz. I think you're on. I think that's solid. Okay. What's it? What's it to finally get? Oh my God. All right. Here we go. This looks better. Yeah, see how it's defining the background with the foreground? That makes more sense to me. Yeah. Kaz is still right. We still should do some theme directories, so when, let's say, you forget to define this, it'll pull it from the directory and inherit it properly. But I want to see this work. We've already done so much here. Might as well see it to its logical conclusion. I also want to update to .NET 10 before we forget. All right. Still didn't detect. But let's go light, dark, light, dark. Still broken. All right, screw it. Theme directories. This is all wrong. We need to institute theme directories. Let's delete this test theme. Actually, we can leave test theme. Oh well, it's gone. It'll have to recreate it. That's fine. I haven't even done one commit yet. Do we want to upgrade this in code, or do we want to pull this into Visual Studio and then do the .NET 10 upgrade there? I feel like doing it in Visual Studio would be better. Yeah. In terminal is better. Chat will never cease to troll me. Love you guys. Love you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's upgrade this. Okay, cool. All right, let's first build it in code. Make sure all these changes. We're not just hacking it together. We still get a success on build here. Let's build the solution. All right, we're all up to date. Let's first check the properties of the solution. Nothing crazy. Looks good, looks good. I like it, I like it. All right. Properties of OneShot loading up. Just pulling all this in because you got to remember most of this was... Ooh. So that's right. We can't upgrade to .NET 10 because we need Visual Studio 2026. All right, fine.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
All right. Anus, thank you so much for the prime. Sorry. Sorry I said that so loud. Someone's got this on their speakers and immediately was like, no, 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 no. I am totally a 12-year-old. That's fair. That is fair. Okay. Oh. All right, let's continue. Let's get us ready. Will this upgrade 2022? Probably not. They'll probably just install a whole new version.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Wow, thanks for the prime. Copy workloads, components, previous. Okay. I like it. Let's go. Yeah, I figured that's the case. Okay, that's fine. Who the hell's going to be doing .NET 6? I say that, but you know what? You'd be shocked. I don't know why people don't upgrade their projects in .NET. Like, why do we still have, like, people going, I need .NET 4? It's freaking 2026, people. Like, what is going on there exactly? Like, every time I see a project, it seems like it's written in a .NET, like, from 10 years ago. Did, like, all the .NET developers, like, die off or something? And then everyone's like, well, there's all this legacy stuff, and I don't know anything, so we're just going to keep it at .NET 6 forever. Or .NET 4. I don't understand it. Yeah. Or .NET 3. Good night. But, I mean, yeah, there's so much. Backwards compatibility since hospitals are still on Windows Vista. That's not true. That can't be true, right? .NET 4.8 just works since it was bundled by default with Windows 7 onward. Dude, if people are still using Windows 7 in 2026, they deserve to be hacked. I don't know what else to tell you. The NHS in the UK is still on Windows 7. What? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, no. Like, if you're developing software, there is no reason to do that. Absolutely no reason. No. XP Windows 7, no. That's absolutely ridiculous. point of sale. Yeah, but we're talking like software development here. You're developing something in 2026. It doesn't need to be compatible with Windows 7. That's insane. Absolutely insanity. No. If you're developing something now and you need software compatible, you don't. You just don't. You're wrong. That's crazy. I understand you need to make $1, but that's crazy. I can't. I would just not accept that contract. Upgrading Tesla, lots of money. That sounds like pain and suffering. Like, you're just opening yourself up with like a ton of liability, though. You got to remember, like, Windows 7, and you're developing for Windows 7 in 2026. It hasn't seen a security update in 3 years, 4 years, and that's if they bought the security update package. That only ran to 2023, by the way. And their systems are extremely vulnerable when you're developing software for those extremely vulnerable systems. So then when they do get hacked, it's not if they get hacked, it's when they get hacked, you now have developed software for a computer that is compromised. And then what's to say they're not going to turn around, point the finger at you and go, hey, your software got us hacked. And what are you going to say? Hey, dumbass, you're using Windows 7? No, you can't do that because you knew ahead of time when you developed the software that it was on Windows 7. There's just no world I would ever accept that. Like, developing for anything but .NET, what was Windows 10 .NET when it was released? What .NET came with Windows 10? Four. So Microsoft kept 4.8 for Windows 10. Okay. That makes more sense, I guess. All right, what came with 11 then? Okay. Microsoft. You're crazy, man. The fact I still get comments that like Windows is so secure, I just can't. The logic, it's beyond me. So they're literally bundling .NET software that was created 15 years ago. When did 4.8 come out? No, that's wrong. .NET Framework came out on April 2019. Gemini, are you telling people to go eat rocks part of their diet again? What? No. When did it come out? 4.8. Well, I'm looking this up wrong. What am I missing? Okay. Okay, I must be misunderstanding completely. Because .NET framework goes all the way up to 10. Or I'm thinking of something completely different. maybe I'm thinking of libraries, or there's some type of definition I am getting wrong here. .NET framework's different from .NET version. Thank you. I was like, I am seeing. I knew I shouldn't have taken those drugs in my younger years. That's what I was thinking. It's coming back to get me. I'm getting tracers. What's going on? 4.8 should not be the versioning. Okay, framework is different from .NET version. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, Microsoft rebranded .NET framework to .NET around the time of 4.8 release. That makes more sense. Gotta love the rebranding. How often do you use the Windows search feature? What, people still use the Windows search feature? Just saying out loud here. That's crazy. Yeah, I've always done that bloody screen. So, like, if I do need to search, you can just go, like, here, and then just go Steam. And then just launch it. So that's how I use Windows Search. I would never actually bloat up my taskbar with the search feature. The fact that's on my default is wild to me. Yeah, so, like, if you just hit the Windows key, you're already in the search field, so then you can just type whatever you need. So it's a lot faster than if you had like the search in the title bar. You'd have your mouse, you have to come down here and click and then type. So it's taking up screen real estate. It's quite a bit slower than just going Steam. Yeah, and launching. So without even using your mouse, it would be a much faster to get rid of the search on your taskbar. So that it does essentially nothing. It's for Neanderthals that don't know any better. That's all that is. That's just the stock setting. So they rebranded Core to just .NET around .NET 6. There's also modern .NET and older .NET. I don't know the difference either. Their rebrandings are insane. Let's just start after this finishes. I like how the search box takes up as much space as 4 icons in the taskbar. It's really useful. See what you did there. Dumb question. How much can you screw yourself by signing up for Windows Insider? Answer, quite a bit. Especially, Korea, if you... I mean, this is a great question. This is a really good question that I need to address for folks. I'm going to highlight it. Does that even still work? Ah, it does, look. Dumb question. How much can you screw yourself by doing that? So if you sign up for Insider and then you upgrade to an Insider build of Windows, you can never downgrade. You can never leave. You're there forever until you nuke your system and reload everything. So, moral of the story, never sign up for Windows Insider unless you just hate your life. So, the original answer to this question, the short answer is, yeah, you will totally screw yourself by signing up for Windows Insider by a considerable margin. You know, that's like dropping the soap in prison shower. You just don't do it. That's how bad you will screw yourself. So definitely not a dumb question. Very, very good question. Never sign up for Windows Insider unless you just hate Windows and you want to completely blow up your whole install. Never, ever sign up for Windows Insider. All right, sorry. But I wanted to definitely reiterate that. JetBrains debugger is better, and it works on Linux too. JetBrains, you know, honestly, a lot of professional developers, they absolutely love JetBrains. And I don't think I've ever really given it like a true honest shot. They built some Avalonia Linux GUI with it. Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, IntelliJ. They make some good stuff. They make some good stuff. But no, I don't really do it. But I could, you know, honestly, anything's better than Visual Studio, right? If we're being honest. Visual Studio just kind of sucks. Oh, there's a new GPO. Oh, what do we got here? Coding. How much do we trust this? That's cool though. I'll add the GPO to the we'll add it to the default essential tweaks. We'll just set this GPO. I'll pull the registry key it's changed, and we'll just do that by default. QNX making a lot of stuff free. OS for Raspberry Pi 4.5 desktop. I don't even know. What's QNX? So out of the loop. Real-time operating system for embedded system. That's cool. I would like to see more things in the space, especially open source tools and stuff. But I don't know that I've ever really used them, at least not on purpose. Hey, here we go. Visual Studio. We are ready to rock. Hang on. Ooh, let's sign in with GitHub. Sometimes it likes to, yeah, it always DDoSes me whenever I sign into GitHub. I'm like, dude, not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why you gotta always link my IP? No, authentication, I already use a password. All right, great. Cool. All right, dark. Yeah, that's fine. All right, we're back. All right, now we can open up our tool. I know we had to do all that, but we're going to update to .NET 10. Let's go GitHub. Where are you at? Huh. Was it under documents? Yes. There she be. Okie dokie. Now we are good to go. So now we should be able to go properties, pull those in, and we should have a .NET version in here, right here, and there's 10 now. So let's try and upgrade target framework to 10, restore everything, and then let's build our project. We'll also pull up our NuGet packages. Another thing I like to do with .NET stuff, when I pull it up here, is I'll usually go manage NuGet packages, and then just check to see what the versioning looks like. Do we have anything deprecated, or do we have anything like, hey, it needs updates? It looks like we're grabbing all the latest packages. So like if you ever use AI at all, make sure you pull in your package at least once, if it's a .NET at least, because a lot of times I find it grabs like older package versions, mix and matches stuff, and it can be really a headache. So this all looks good, and now we just close out. We're good to go. So now we're on .NET 10. Everything's right with the world. Let's go ahead and change the versioning here. We're going to be .NET 4 for the next one. So we'll go ahead and upgrade our version. All this looks good. And the views, we got to fix this. Let's first, the theming is done incorrectly. It should be using Avlonia dictionaries. See, and then let's give it the link. History. What was that? Let's pull up my browser history for the world to see. Do we not have that? There it is. All right. There we go. You need .NET 10 SDK installed. Yeah, let's see what we're at. I'm pretty sure we already have .NET 10, but let's double check. Yeah, we're already on 10. We're solid. Okay, so this is much better. But yeah, we're about to find out. I think what we'll do is, I feel like this should go into app.xaml. All right, now we're moved to theme dictionaries, Avlonia theme dictionaries. Gravy, that'll probably fail. I'm sure it did something shaky. Shaky. Fix that. Are you using vanilla Chrome? No, just vanilla Chrome at this point. I've given up on browsers. I might need to remove Hot Avlonia. I don't know if it's compatible. That's okay. Let's see .NET build. What's that look like? Okay, that's fine. Should this be defined in app.axml? Since we will break up main window into multiple components for each page. Yeah. I've heard good things about Helium. I need to check it out. Yes, absolutely. Breaking main window to multiple components. The theme dictionary should be defined in app.xml. Yeah, because earlier we had Kaz tell us that. Which, if I've learned one thing over the years, it's usually Twitch chat or YouTube chat is better than any LLM you can have. So there's been some very complex issues we've coded over the years. Nice. Gravy. All right, so that's looking good. Let's go ahead. Win1. And what we're going to do is a .NET run, and we'll do a debug run. Not sure if Hot Valonia. Yeah. I think we're going to have problems with Hot Valonia because of .NET 10. I don't think. So I was using this, but I don't think they've updated it to work with .NET 10. We might need to bump the XAML loader. Okay. Let's go new. Check build .NET build -c debug, which has a Hot Valonia error since switching to .NET 10 with the official repo at here. Well, it was last updated last month, and .NET 10's been out for 4 months,
well,
5 months.
The dude abides.
Blue, thanks for the prime. Yeah, I hate that XML renames. Agreed to 1000%. Am I missing something? Oh, it's the run. Let's feed this. We might need to do it clean, actually. Huh, okay. So Hot Bologna had extensions. I don't think we're using any extensions. Let's see if that worked. Maybe. Let's do a .NET clean. Just to clean everything. Let's rerun. Maybe like there's some old dot. No, it's still a problem. It's a good idea. Exclude extensions. Define constants on configuration debug. Okay. That's going to fail because we're not in an elevated prompt, but that's fine. Oh, it still does it there. Okay. Let's see if it leaves all this crap behind. No, I got rid of it. But what are you changing this time? That's not going to work either. Ah, thank you, Kaz. All right. Finish this, and then we're going to check that. All right. Now, oh, wait, what are you doing now? I thought you finished. Yeah, it's going in a circular loop now. Let's just stop this. Okay. All right, to build on Valonia 12 using .NET 8 or 10. I've missed some optional dependencies. Too long. Please update Avlonia Mark XAML. Have the following installed. Okay. Oh, it's the latest build of Valonia Markup XAML loader. Okay. Alright. Let's kill you. Nope. Alright, let's just close it all. Let's grab this. Let's undo that. It's trash. Not even working. Let's grab this. Let's do private access. We're going to grab an alpha version of the XAML loader. Let's see if there's any other versions. I hate to grab just a crazy alpha version. Let's see what else we have. I'd like a little bit newer alpha or beta build. I think this comment's a little old. Wait, what was the... When... That was last month. It's pretty recent. Okay. Let's see what we got. Alrighty, pulling in all the beta alpha builds. Do we have a 12? No. Alright, well, alpha build it is. Yeah. All right, we're just gonna skip all that. Let's just stop. I don't need your help anymore. Twitch chat smarter than you, LLM. Sorry about you. Alrighty. Unable to find package. XAML loader of 12.09. That's beta for Valonia 12. Ah, I gotcha. Need to upgrade to Valonia 12 to see the new builds. Yep. No worries. That's good to know. I don't see a Valonia 12 in the stable feed. No. Check beta builds. Put 11.3.10. Okay. Let's just stop this. Let's put 11.3.10. Save that. All right. 11.3.10. Let's do a .NET clean. Now let's debug it. No. No go. What am I missing? So we got Valonia there. 3.10. Oh, instead of 12 dot. Okay. We can try it. No bueno there. XAML loader still using 12. So .NET clean. And then run it again. That's it. Look at that. Thing of beauty. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about, son. That is amazing. Alrighty. So we're looking good there. We can now have the dictionary, all the definitions and everything. So if we want to change window background colors, those types of things, those will be done here. Now if we look here at the actual code, you'll see we have the dynamic resources and stuff set, but nothing's getting hard coded in. We'll have proper theming right over here. And it'll pull in whatever your default theming using registry. So if you set your preference to be dark theme in Windows, it'll read that and then launch it in dark theme. So nice. And we now have hot reload. So if we wanted to change something, let's say in dark theme, I want this title to pop a little bit more. Let's go ahead and do a live reload. I'm not sure, since we're using dictionaries now. I've never actually tried this. But let's try and amp this up a little bit, shall we? Let's say we were like, man, I want that title to pop just a bit more. Let's get that. All right, great. And then we would save that out. Then it would reload magically. Maybe something a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think that hot reload's working. Sure don't look like it, at least. One way to check. Let's just go. I got a for sure way to check. Orange. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna say that's not working. Yeah. Okay. So you don't need all the nesting for like the parent of each property. You can just put border background or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this would work for the definitions. Now, having said that, let's say we're adjusting margins. Probably or let's just say the title here. Let's say instead of it being 24 count for this, put 32. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say hot reload's not working at all now. Damn. Unfortunate. So hot reload only works with .NET 8. Unless maybe wait. Maybe it switched off something in let's look at our code. So we got it loaded here in this item group, but let's see, maybe there's some other shady stuff that got added. I remember it doing something with no, I already removed all that crap. Darn it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's specific. Hot Valonia only gets loaded in the debug. Now, most coders will be using C# with a live preview, so then they could do something like this. So usually you'd be here, and then you would hit this button, and then you'd pull in the live preview here, and then display it, and then do your edits without ever leaving VS Code. The problem with this is the live preview doesn't work. The Valonia development tools is specifically meant to work with C# and not our F#. So that's kind of a bummer, which doesn't make much sense to me though. Like, I guess it's something with the FS project and how F# works, but it doesn't seem that much different from the Valonia aspect compared to C#. Anywho. Yeah, no. Like, Valonia doesn't do previews in F# period. It's like broad incompatibility from my understanding. So that's why like this project was born. This hot Avalonia was meant for a hot reload with F#. So like you look at it, let's go to the examples. It says it in here actually. Is development only dependency. Shouldn't affect your release builds. Yep. Gives you these, so that way you can put your app out. And was it actually, let's see. Yeah. But I think it was designed specifically for F# too. So then you could do hot reloads with F# without having the preview functionality. Self-imposed wound on my part by switching from C#. I should have known better, but I just wanted to be different, you know. Oh, you're missing the Avalonia hot reload tag in their doc. Let's see. Let's go installation. Package reference include. No, that's there. Right? Yeah. Package include hot Avalonia. Package reference include hot Avalonia. Versioning, private, publish. I also did configuration debug because I didn't want to do it on publish. They have a section downwards. Am I missing something? Obviously missing something. Usage. Oh, during the using hot Avalonia hot reload. And if we check Avalonia. Oh. Oops. Wait, this is using. I think it should be just open. And then hot Avalonia reload right before the initialize. If we look at initialize. No. Oops. Yeah. So here's your initialize theme controls. If I was a betting man, I'd probably put it before we do any of the initialize up here. So here's all our initialize tools. So wouldn't we just do that? Ooh, the attribute must be on the initialize function. So that's not where we go. Okay. Let's switch this from agent to this. Yeah, they're C#, not F#, but we should be able to do something like this. So this is the type main window. Really?
Yeah, well,
Let's give it a
the
whirl.
dude abides.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, man. Let's just go. I think it's just this one line, and that's it. I'm pretty sure. That bastard, thank you for the gifted sub, brother. Hey, Techlore, man. Hey, I still got... Techlore sent me a book. Check it out. I still got it over here, Techlore. Thank you, brother. Firewalls don't stop dragons. You sent this to me. I much appreciate it. I flipped through it a couple times. It's a great book. Thank you. Techlord's good. Good people, man. All right, let's give this a build. No. Let's check documentation. Feed this back just to make sure. Okay. This removes, add this enable hot reload at the first do block, and then we should be golden. Okay. Let's go. Sometimes I like not using agent mode. Sometimes agent mode just like wants to take over and it's no good. Oh, for sure, attack. I'm going through it all. It's fun. I'm just kind of messing around with F#. And I'm really... I love how readable the language is. It doesn't have any, like, bloated syntax or anything, so it's very easy and clear. I still suck at it, but it's all good. It's okay. All right, let's try our debug now. MS properties, make sure you have hot Avalonia auto enable set to true. All right, let's try that. MS build properties. It should be an FS project. Let's double check that. Hot Avalonia set to true. It should be. So under property group, Hot Avalonia auto enable set to true. I don't think we do. So we have hot Avalonia here. We need to make sure it's conditional though. Because it only needs to happen during the debug build. So here's the Valonia configuration right here. I probably would put it right in this property group based on what we see here. So let's do that. So we'll do hot Valonia auto enable true. But I need to make sure when we're doing this that it does not run on a regular build, only on the debug. Is there anything in the documentation about that? I don't see anything. I think we'll be fine though, because that's actually specified in the item attributes, or the item group. Because hot Valonia is only done whenever configuration equals debug. So I think we'll be fine. Famous last words, let's go. Let's just do a sample build. Claude 4.5 is what I'm building right now. So yeah, so it says not defined. But I bet if we do .NET build and then specify configuration debug, still get the main window error, I bet you, but it'll shut down the hot Valonia not defined error. Oh no, it doesn't. All right, fine. Build fails. You shouldn't have that on the package reference. Ooh, good, go to 4.5 Opus. They don't have that condition in their doc. We did have this working on .NET 8 though, so I should specify that. Do I not have those specified? No, Valonia Auto does these. You shouldn't have to specify each AXML file. I think this is wrong. It's trying to gaslight me. You sure about that? You're right. I apologize for the confusion. Yeah, he was like, no, you're wrong. Okay. Shouldn't have that in package reference. So property group package reference. Let's look online. I haven't done any commits yet, so let's go to WinOneShot, and I'm going to show you what was working beforehand, with just .NET 8 before we moved. I'm tempted to go back to 8. Do we really even pick up anything with .NET 10 compared to 8? So here was our configuration on .NET 8, and what you're talking about right here, if you look, we have the private access, assets all, publish true, condition debug. If you look here, we have private assets true, publish true, condition debug. Oh, well. Exclude assets. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying now. All right, let's get rid of that exclude assets. Let's take this property group. Does the property group need to go below where this is defined in the item group? Or does the order not matter? Yeah, so I know this right here is correct. So we know this line. Let me highlight that. Boop. Oh, can I not highlight in GitHub code? Oh, man. Oh, since it's code, it's not going to allow me to use my highlight. Ooh. Order don't matter. Just the property. Redefine. Let's try this without the exclude property. I think the exclude might have been... It would be funny if that was the whole problem, but... Let's just try to do a build. Yeah. Check the F# file to how the annotation's happening. Let's do it clean too, just to make sure. And then if we do debug, those other errors at the top should disappear. No. Hot Bologna is not defined. Maybe you want one of the following. This enable hot reload. So just this enable hot reload file. Let's get rid of that. Yeah. And the properties we added should auto-enable hot Bologna. I think, yeah, adding those in and this enable hot reload, I think these codes screwed us up. I want to say it will just automatically add the needed code at the time of compile if it's a debug. If not, it should be fine. So if we do a build, this should be clean. Maybe. All right, yeah. So that's success. And then if we do a debug over here, success. All right, let's do a run. Okay. So then when we do the debug, now we have the problem with the extensions. Hot reload extension on that. I guess this is why people hang out on older versions, huh? They don't want to deal with this. Normal build works, though. I feel like there's just... Okay, so the error is F# extensions file uses a known warn directive that's not compatible with your F# compiler version. Once you mention normal build works, you can either disable hot Valonia, which, okay, I know how to do that. Disable auto enable. Okay. Run the release build instead. This still doesn't, I need hot reload to work on debug. Okay, it just says downgrade the version. Okay, so it just won't work, this compiler. Can we downgrade F# while leaving .NET 10? Yeah. I don't think so. Let's try it though. I just don't see this working. Let's do a clean first since we're changing the compiler version. Let's do a build with the release just to see. I imagine this will fail because it doesn't sync up with the .NET 10, but you never know. Okay, it actually looked like it worked. I don't think clean uses debug and stuff, does it? Clean should just clean everything, right? I mean, you would think. Yeah. I think we downgrade to .NET. Go back to 8. Damn it. Yeah. I mean, maybe we could use .NET 9 instead. Does it really matter? I don't even know. All right. I'm like one of 2 people probably doing this shit. All right. Let's close you out. We're gonna just change this. We're gonna go to .NET 10. Should we go back to 8 or go 9? I thought 9 was not a LTS version. I think 8 was. I could be wrong. Twitch says 8. YouTube says 9. That's funny. Let me look. I'm gonna just grab whatever the LTS releasing. LTS versions of .NET Modern. Okay. Yeah, 8 was the last LTS. 9 was not an LTS. That was an STS version. So 8 would have been it. Yeah. You want to pick LTS versions where possible. Just as a good rule of thumb. Okie dokie. And F# compiler, I think, can be left at 9, but I'm not sure. I think it actually needs to match F# core LTS versions. Let's see what it is. I bet it matches .NET. Let's see. Yeah, I would have. And is rolling release. Okay, let's just go 8. I'm just gonna push it back to it. Let's double check that's where we were at. Oh, for the love of Pete. We were on F#. No, we were on F#10. No. I think the AI was just completely hallucinating all these problems. Okay. Well, good to know. So when we look at this, huh? All right, I think we can just leave it on 10 for the compiler. That's wild. All right, let's clean it, and then we're gonna run. There should be a compile flag for F# to allow the old mode so that F#10 should work. What else am I missing here? It's true. What a pain in the butt, man. I brought it on myself, though. Can't really complain. Oh, I got what you're saying. Yeah, so we're using .NET 10 on our .NET run, but we need to use .NET 8. Oh, this was working, right? Am I just completely bonkers here? I haven't done a single commit. But here are all the commits that have happened. Hot Avalonia enabled true. And then we also changed Avalonia diagnostics. Those are the only differences between our current file and what used to work. Maybe it never worked and I just hallucinated it. I swear I had it working though. All right, let's remove that. Yeah, let's just disable. Let's just switch this back to how it was. Let's just discard the changes. Screw it. We'll take it exactly how it was. And then let's rebuild. So all we have is our XAML changes. Why overcomplicate it? We're just going to discard all the changes we add to the FS project. We're going to do a clean. We're going to do a .NET build. This should be successful. Choosing .NET 8. Here comes the compile. That succeeded. So then we do a .NET run with debug. That problem. But if we just do a .NET run without debug, it should run just fine. But it does not because of Pot of Valonia. Yeah, so we have 8, 9, and 10 all installed. Screw this. I'm done. We're just going to upgrade these manually. I'm going to just change it to how it should be. And we're going to go with that. I am so over this. Switch it to 0.4. Let's change this to .NET 10. The versioning is probably wrong, isn't it? .101. Yeah, that's gonna be wrong. What was our versioning for .NET 10? Can we leave just a .NET 10 here for the target framework and then it autofill in the build? I feel like that's better, right? Yeah. Screw this whole build. Let's just do net 10 dot. I think we can just do net 10, right? And then it'll refill it. Like, why am I overcomplicating things? A good developer takes the complex and makes it simple. A bad one takes the simple and makes it complex. Just as a rule of thumb, I think that's kind of my thought process. All right, fine. Net 10 does not have a target framework. So that's not the target framework. What is... .0. Okay. Yeah. Oh. All right. Restore. Let's do a restore. .NET clean. Clean. .NET build. Build. Did we do a restore? I thought we did a restore. Maybe not. No. Regression. All right, let's see what we got. We're just using Sonnet 4.5. Oh, Gabby. there's multiple profiles when you do a Power CFG, and if you don't specify the profile correctly, like you were only pulling the current active profile, you can actually replicate the same profile multiple times. So you have to do a listing and then find it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, sure. That was strange. Oh, it's under CS Project under the build. So interesting. Okay. That was just a VS Code change, though. Yeah, you'll have localization issues as well, Gabby. We ran into it several years back where it was multiplying the profile in people's windows. Guess I still had some C# leftovers here. That's fine, I guess. Not having hot reload's gonna be a problem, though. I'll have to think of something. We've already spent too much time on this today on a live stream. I don't want to bore everyone to death. So we'll just run it as is. You can see the current state where we do have a dark mode, a light mode. We have our install, config, updates. I want to expand this. This is just placeholder crap. Tweaks. This is kind of like when the tweaks are run, what it would look like. So I'll probably actually have a tab group to where when you select the tweaks and you hit run, it replaces the whole screen and flips it and then puts this on. That should be pretty good, actually. All right, well, that's fine. More hours of suffering for a hot rebuild. Fair enough. Let's see. When you tell, let's pull those changes. I'll take a peek here. Let's go ahead and commit this. We did have dark light mode. Before I override this, I do. Nah, we're going to find a different hot reload. We're going to use .NET. It'll be fine. I'm just going to commit this. I'll figure out something else for the Valonia. A hot reload type setup for .NET 10 using F# 10. I want to use modern tooling. Even if it means I have to rebuild every time, screw it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. There's got to be an AXML builder, though. We might actually look at IntelliJ's writer. Because surely they would have a live preview properly. Oh, yeah. That's true, Kaz. Debug and then just go -- no warn. I'm not reverting back. The big reason why is I really like the additions of on our AppX here. Like, we added the resource dictionaries to Avalonia, and I really like how all these are specified in the app AXML, and then all of this is going to get broken out into 4 different files. So right now it's one file that, what is this, like 600 pages? Yeah, it's almost 1,000 lines now. It's 800 lines. This is going to get broken into 4 different files. It's going to have an install file. It's going to have a tweaks file and the rest of them. So then each one will be modular. So as we go, kind of get a proof of concept with some placeholders like we have now. The tweaks is obviously still working because that's what we already had. And that's working really fast and great. But now we want to build out that other sections, and that's when you start breaking it apart into smaller pieces. So the main window is going to splinter out in the views section here into 4 different files, and then those will do different things depending on what we need. So that's what the future looks like. But I mean, honestly, the dictionary, I really do appreciate that. I think that's going to be great. And that's good. .NET 10 and F# anymore. I gotcha. Yeah, we can test it right now, Gabby. 1 second. Yeah, the no warn line doesn't work anymore. It's a bummer. That's okay though. It's what you get when you ever use third party. I think really the solution here, Kaz, is to use something else to troubleshoot the GUI as far as building out another AXML viewer. There's got to be something for live preview that's better than a hot reload situation anyways, because we're really not executing anything here. I would be fine just using something for the GUI without even exposing like the F# code or anything, and then designing the AXML, importing that in, and then we can mess around with actual execution with F#. So, I mean, editing the AXML is the biggest thing we need live preview for, and taking this and then just tossing it into a sample project and then monitoring it through a live preview, even if it's like C#, who cares? And then importing it back into the project would be the way to go. That way we get the live preview and it would work. So I think that would be the way to go with that. There's an extension in Writer and Visual Studio for a preview extension. Yeah, and I already have it. It's a Valonia preview, and this is what it would look like. This would normally populate. If this wasn't an F# project, it would, I believe, but maybe not. So that's kind of where we're at. There's a GitHub project for a Valonia live preview. Oh, really? Really, Bach? You don't say. Really? "41 stars. You gotta love how popular F# is. Updated 3 years ago." Oh. This is what you get when you pick an obscure language. Not a whole hell of a lot of support. But that'll be a live view right there. .NET 7. Yeah, there's about 0 chance that would work in today's climate. All right, so we've committed this. I'm not going to do a new release or anything to that, but it's queued up for dark light mode. I am going to look at other possible solutions for a live preview there. I've already walked through. You got the hot reload, which was kind of working, I think. I mean, that's how I initially designed everything, was with a hot reload. So I know I got it working somewhat using that hot Avalonia project on .NET, but I didn't want to revert everything back. So we could do, I would like just to have a in IDE live preview. So I'm going to try IntelliJ. Maybe it works better than VS Code. Or actually, you know what? Before we go, 1 second, let's go. Let's go here. Do we have a live preview in Visual Studio 2026? Let's look at Alonia. Okay. Install that. Here's a previewer right here. I don't know if those will conflict with each other. Changes are scheduled. Your modification will begin when Visual Studio is closed. Okay, great. Let's close it then. Let's try these two previewers now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, let's modify it. One of these probably will work. I think we were just overthinking it the whole time. It'd be hilarious wasting like 2 hours just trying to do a hot reload when we could have just installed a new version of VS Studio 2026. I have done this before for a different project. It wasn't F# though. Let's pin that to the taskbar. Now we'll get into here. Now let's see what we pulled up. All right, we got Avlonia. Let's grab to views. Here is our main window. Still restoring packages. Is there a designer? Can we just do this and go? All right, 1 second. Okay, maybe not. Let's go. All right. 1 second. I gotta fill all this crap out. Okay. Once I finish this, Avlonia customer portal or some crap. Okay. Okay, save. Okay, and I just need to sync this. Almost there, almost there. Okay. Perfect. Okay, great. Now, continue. Community. There we go. Okay, great. Verified. Now reviews licensing terms. Sorry. Just trying to get through all this crap. All right, accept terms. I confirm. I understand telemetry. Yes. Okay, so now we have some kind of developer tool. Okay. All right, one more second. Let me grab this again and extensions, manage. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's just go installed. All right, so we got this. We'll build the package. Must sign it. Okay, sign in already. Oh, God. All right, let me try to sign in one more time. Choose, continue. And we're there. Do I just need to give them like $300 and then they'll just leave me alone, maybe? I don't know. Oh, you don't get the web view. Oh, lame. Okay. Maybe we uninstall this. I'm not paying them $300. Well, you'd think that would work. Let's try it again. Sign in. It's my sign in's my email, so that's why I'm doing it. Aha! Nice. All right, the preview processor. Okay, let's restart the preview. All right, let's build. All right, that's CS. All right, let's just clean it, and then let's build it. Okay, designer's paused. Ah, yeah. Okay, so then it'll just keep crashing. So yeah, it still has the problem with F#. Okay, preview's free, but yeah, this isn't working. Maybe we could try the AXML viewer and it might work. Let's try to change our extensions out. Let's go installed. Let's just uninstall this. Let's close. It'll relaunch it all. Modify. It might not be F# related, possibly. But from everything I've read online, F# with Avlonia AXML previewers is like broken. So let's try it without. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure on the proof. I think it's just gonna keep crashing on me. I remember running into this when I was messing around with it offline. All right, I spent way too much time on it. It's not gonna work. Let's just cut our losses and figure out something else. Yeah, we'll do that real fast. Let's just go power CFG. Oops. Actually, let's just go control. Power options. Let's just go ultimate performance. I'm gonna check this real fast for you, Gabby. WinUtil. Let's close all. GitHub. Let's grab our PRs. Ultimate performance. Let's check it out. Yeah, so the logic that I saw in here that was different. So in the old plan, I do appreciate the consolidation of code, but there was something in the old plan, like if you look at when it does the main variable up here, installed plan, it does a power CFG list where you're just getting the get active string. So let's just show you the difference between the two. So here's what a dash list versus a get active scheme does. So if you go get active scheme, you can see ultimate performances here. So you saw that we have that installed, and what it'll do is it's going to do, I think it's like an awk of the third variable, which is going to be ultimate performance. But if you do a power CFG dash list, you'll notice, oh, now we see every performance plan, and then it's like, hey, is out of the array of the third string here, which one is the Chris Titus ultimate plan? Yeah, that's installed. Let's uninstall it. So this is during the disable section. If you look at the disabled, using this, it'll say, oh, it's not installed. So then when you go to install it again, it'll just install it again probably. And if you look through, this for each looks to see if there's any scheme there. It matches it because of localization. Sometimes the naming can change around. So this was added because I think Spanish and how it implemented the power CFGs, we had to add this for each line to modify it and find those so it wouldn't just duplicate it. So if you clicked install profile a bunch, it would just duplicate the profile in this respect, where this one would go, hey, it's already installed. I do believe. Let's just double check. But I think it was because we did it that way because of the Spanish runs. Anywho, let's showcase it. Compile run. Have you ever heard of Secure Blue? It's a Fedora Silver Blue that's intended to be Graphene OS for the desktop. How do you feel about it? If it's run by Red Hat, I wouldn't do that. If you're concerned about security, you need to be using Cubes. Cubes OS and compartmentalization is the fundamentals of security. It's not if you get compromised, it's when you get compromised. I don't care how secure you are, you will be compromised. You'll do something stupid. The user will always do something stupid. It's just Murphy's Law. And it's about containing that breach when it does happen. And that's where compartmentalization in Cubes does so well. Edward Snowden gave probably like a 2-hour talk specifically over this. And just relying on, hey, I installed a security suite or I installed a secure distro. No, it's still going to get compromised. But the idea is to limit it by compartmentalizing what you're doing on the computer at the time. There is no secure distribution. There's only distributions that can't be overwhelmingly compromised. They'll still get compromised. It's just a matter of how deep that compromised happens. So, it's really interesting. I don't really talk about privacy and security because most of the users in that realm that like are really concerned about it, like the tinfoil hat people, they're kind of stupid and they are nutty, and I don't really like talking to them or interfacing with them, and most of them are just not all that bright. So to quote the great Chevy Chase. but yeah, for real, like, you know, this like the guy that's like, I'm gonna get a secure system, I'm installing all the firewalls, and then he's like pulling out his iPhone, you know. I'm like, oh my god, you know, such a lost cause. But yeah, if you're really wanting to look at like a secure computing, check out Cubes, learn about compartmentalization and understand it, and then if you're able to implement that, you'll have a greater thing of security. But installing like a security distro, not really. I mean, maybe the defaults are a bit better than your average, but you're still gonna get compromised. Leave the internet, go to the forest. I mean, you're halfway joking, but probably not quite that far off. All right, let's go config, install. Was that the tweaks tab? No, this is the config tab, brother. Install and uninstall. There is no... Are these two different things? Why are these in two different spots? Are we injecting two different things here? What's going on? Oh, we need to streamline this. What the F? I didn't realize this got added in two different spots. Well, we already got some more work to do on this PR. Okay, well, let's try it here then. Just gonna click it a bunch so you see it right here. Why is this? Oh, this is the PowerShell profile. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to go brain dead here. Sorry. Never mind. Just an ad, and I'm just like a normal user. I just like clicking buttons. All right, let's see how many times that added it. Did it add it just the one? Let's see, shall we? Yes. Oh no. Oh no. That is not good. We now have ultimate performance in there 1 billion times. Hence why I did not accept this. Lots. We have all the ultimate performance in here. Yes. Like I said, not a great PR here. That's all right. We all can't be perfect, man. Let's remove all these extras, shall we? I don't even think it's gonna properly do it because it's not labeled. Tweaks, remove. Okay. still have ultimate performance like spammed. Yeah, so you also changed the name of the profile. The one that was installed was CTT Ultimate Performance. We did it that way specifically so we could target it. So if it ever did get duplicates, we could just wipe them all out in one run. By naming it Ultimate Performance alongside with the Ultimate Performance from Windows, you now essentially are duplicating profiles as well. So this needs to be cleaned up now. Poo. Let's just add and activate. Okay, let's do the list. All right, so now we're on the Chris Titus Ultimate Power Plan. Let's just get rid of all these other ones. Where the hell are we? Functions, private, invoke, power plan. Where do we put it? What do we name it? There's the power profile. Focus profile. Yeah, there it is. I like the invoke script for this way better. We should have done that for the... You see how we have an uninstall and install of the PS profile? That should have been an invoke script down here. And then done it that way. That would have been good. What is the syntax for removal here? Oh, this kind of sucks. I shouldn't have clicked that button so many times. Unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate all around. I'm not doing all this. How do you keep track of so many files in a project? The idea is to make it and name it stuff that is common sense and explains itself. So when you make it modular, it breaks up the code, so then you can easily just look at the code. It's only like 100 lines. You're like, okay, what's what? You flip through, and then if you screw something up or you're looking for something, it should be like, I'm looking for PowerShell profile. It's either PS profile or PowerShell, and it should pull up that. Or you can look for the code that you know that will be used. Like if it was Power Plan, that you don't see Power Plan in the name. This is not necessarily a great naming for this function, but I know Power CFG is going to be used, so I can just go search the entire project for Power CFG - delete. I know that only appears a couple times, and then that would be good. All right, what do we got here? Great. Perfect. All right. Now let's just go in here. Alrighty. Nice. Alright, cool. Got rid of all those dupes. You can delete that now. What? No, we're on the main branch. We're good. All right, cool. No changes. All right. Nice. Yeah. So like basic stuff for AI, like you could go through and constantly click each UID and then paste it. And frankly, it probably would have taken the same amount of time for AI to do what I had it do than to just go through and delete the 7 extra duplicate profiles, right? But I think there's a greater chance for error by doing it that way. And it's kind of taxing from a mental aspect where it's like, who cares? You're literally just hunting down all the ultimate performance plans. It's not rocket science. Anybody can do it. So that's when I'm like, I'll just feed that to AI and just have it take care of it. So then it's like, cool. Here, minion. This doesn't take much brain power. Just get rid of all the dupes for me. Spit me a script, and then it's like, okay, here it is. And I'm like, it's not perfect, but good enough. Boom, just a couple changes, run it, and I'm done. And that's the power that I like. Micro NPR is finally ready for review and merger. All right. Hate Samsung phones. I can change my PR to remove all the extras, but why would someone hit that button that many times? Bro, you gotta remember, literally millions of people use this. That's like asking, why are there stupid people in the world? I don't effing know. But it happens. Like, that's just like, it's like normal. Like, you get experience with this. I'm trying to think of a nice way of saying this. I'm not exactly the most best guy to explain things without hurting people's feelings, so I'm trying to explain this in a way that's nice. I don't think I can. Anyways, yeah, never underestimate the stupidity of people. You're wrong. However stupid you think people are, there's somebody out there that will prove you that they're dumber than that. Just the general population, man. When I was younger, I used to think, oh man, there's so many smart people, and yeah, a lot of people, no one would do that. That's just so silly. Here I'm in my 40s now, and I gotta tell you, these days I'm like, I know it's stupid, but someone's gonna do it. Just watch. Well, see, didn't take that long. Sure enough. It's just, dude, it's like one of those things. Like, why do people watch like reaction videos and the brain dead content out there? And it's just like, I know what people want to see, but sometimes I'm just like, I just can't bring myself to make that content because I just don't think it adds any value. And I think it just perpetuates the stupidity out in the world. You know? I don't know. Anyways. Music? Harris Heller made it. He's from Stream Beats. He's an amazing guy. I love it. I've been using that stuff for years. And I only get a copyright claim every once in a while. Someone always tries to false copyright claim. But, you know, he's usually pretty good about going after him. I think it was like a Latin perf author claimed a bunch of my VODs once. But I went ahead and appealed it. And YouTube was like, yeah, that guy's a scammer. And they overturned it every time. Plain evil people still shock me in my 40s. I don't know if there's ever... I don't think I've ever really met anybody like pure evil. More often than not, I think people are good. I think people tie in when someone's like pure evil and then they get put on a pedestal and shown to the world. So I think a lot of people think there's many more evil people out there than there really is. I like to think that there's more good people. It's just they aren't popular. They don't get the recognition that they deserve. Because all the good people I've met, more often than not, I've met so many good people. And evil people, I've met people that I think that were misunderstood, but I've never met like a brilliant person or even like a really, really wealthy person. A lot of times they get demonized as well. That was evil. You know, I think you see that too much in media. I'm not saying they don't exist, because they do, but more often than not, everybody I've had interactions with have been very good and nice. I'm not saying that people don't have bad days, and you might want to think they're evil, but typically, whenever I run into someone that's like really like does something bad, even bad to me, a lot of times I'm thinking, why? They must not have gotten too many hugs as a kid. You know? And a lot of times when I do meet someone that's, I wouldn't call them evil, but I would just say misunderstood or just mean. A lot of times I'm just like, yeah, I feel bad for them. Because that's a pretty hard life they're going to live, usually. Not always, but usually from everybody I've met that's been really mean, I'm like, yeah, they're really picking a bad road. That's a tough road to walk down. Anywho, what was I doing? Just got the yapping, and then it's just like all of a sudden, what the hell? All right, what do we have? Yeah, I've definitely been an asshole sometimes, man. You know, it happens. Well, it's 3 o'clock. I think me and my wife need to go out on a date before we have to go to my daughter's like recital type thing. So we're gonna have to get out of here and go pick up something. So I'm gonna have to deuce out, guys. I just wanted to do a surprise Friday stream. I wanted to work on this GUI a little bit, even though we didn't make much progress, and we just did essentially a dark and light theme and adding Avalonia dictionaries, which I didn't know about. I think it was a success. I'll look more into the previews and hot reloads of Avalonia, and we'll probably do the Microwin 2 on the next stream. Sorry to keep you hanging there, Coding Wonders, but we'll it's looking good. I have already kind of peeked at the Microwin PR, and I think we should probably get that merged this next go around. Probably gonna have to do some Linux content soon, just because I can only do so much Windows usually before I just kind of get a little burnt out, and I'm like, all right, I need a little palette cleanser. So I like to flip-flop back and forth between the two, because yeah. All right, y'all, have a good one. See y'all in the next one, probably Monday, but yeah, hell, I might pop on. I might get a wild hair and do a late night stream before now and then, but be looking out for it. All right, y'all, deuces.